Hey guys, welcome back to the Lost Occurrences, where I talk about the most interesting, in my opinion, conspiracy theories. Now, before we get into this episode's conspiracy, I just want to acknowledge the weird caption in the last podcast. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest, I have no idea how it got there. I even asked one of my friends, and he said that he thought it was a cipher. I don't know, it looked really weird. But that's odd because I definitely checked everything before I posted it, and the caption was 100% in English. And it made me wonder, what if something else went wrong with episode one's podcast? And the caption was completely fine; it was totally okay, but there was something odd with the audio. I don't know. I'm hoping it's just coincidence, and not its own conspiracy theory. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. This episode is all about MK Ultra. Now, MK Ultra isn't exactly a conspiracy theory. It did actually happen, but the conspiracy theories happen later on as to what this project might have caused. So, as a bit of background, if you guys don't know what MK Ultra is, it's also known as Project MK Ultra, and this operated from the 1950s until the early 60s, and was created and run by a chemist named Sidney Gottlieb. I'm just gonna say it's Gottlieb. Anyway, so he was very interested in the way that the human mind worked. During the early period of the Cold War, the CIA was convinced that communists had discovered this drug or this, technique that would allow them to control human minds. So in response, the CIA was like, alright, we're gonna start our own. We're gonna call it MK Ultra, and we're gonna search for a mind control drug that could be weaponized against other people. I'm not sure why that was their first thought. Wouldn't you rather come up with an antidote on this thing if you're, convinced that your enemy has created this drug that can literally control your mind? Wouldn't you want to find a counteract to that? I don't know, I guess in the American or the US state of mind, they're all about, violence first. But, so, there was this guy, this guy called Stefan Kinzer, who was a journalist, and he spent a lot of his time investigating the program, and stuff like that. And so he said, this is a direct quote from him, Gottlieb wanted to create a way to seize control of people's minds, and he realized it was a two-part process. So first you had to blast your way into the existing mind, and second you had to find a way to insert a new mind into that resulting void. We didn't get too far on number 2, but he did make a lot of work on number 1. So basically Gottlieb was like, how much can we break the human mind until basically it becomes nothing? And then how can we stuff that mind full of the information that we want them to think about and we want them to see? It was a terrifying thought. I'm not a huge fan of mind control, I'm going to be perfectly honest. Yeah, so Kinzer also noted that the top secret nature of Gottlieb's work made it impossible to measure the human cost of his experiments. So a lot of lives were lost in this, and it was devastating. There are videos on YouTube where people claim that it's footage from when MK Ultra was happening, and it shows these people going absolutely insane, going days without sleep, and just being hyped up on LSD, and it's terrifying. It is genuinely terrifying. This guy did anything and everything. He destroyed people just to see if mind control was possible. But ultimately, Gottlieb concluded that mind control is not possible. So he shut it down, but then he went on to lead another CIA program that created poisons and high-tech gadgets for spies to use. So, this Gottlieb guy, he's kind of a pretty shitty guy. I'm not gonna lie, but I guess you do you. So anyway, the conspiracy theories that came from this was people believed that this was linked to the Robert F. Kennedy assassination. And, you know, some argued that there was evidence that the assassin Sirhan had been subjected to mind control. It's, like, you know, normally dismissed because evidence is not bountiful, but it's kind of interesting. Yeah. So, MK Ultra. Mind control. It's a very interesting thing to think about. I mean, to be honest, when I first started researching this, I thought the whole thing was a conspiracy, and that MK Ultra never actually happened. But it turns out it did. Oops, me. Luckily I'm doing this research. I say I like conspiracies, and I don't even know about MK Ultra. But yeah, I genuinely thought, look, this isn't something that the US government is capable of. Like, I mean, come on. Maybe the communists, but the US government? I mean, come on, they're not the sharpest tools in the shed, you know? Some of them believe that chocolate milk comes out of brown cows. Like, they're not that smart. So when hearing about this, I was like, no, there's no way, absolutely no way that, you know, MK Ultra is real, but it is. And that's absolutely terrifying, because what if they did actually end up, you know, completing their experiments and mind control actually became a thing, and we just don't know about it because they've used it on us to make us forget. I don't know. It's weird to think about, but yeah, so be sure to check the description to links to my other socials, and I will see you all guys in the next episode. Quinn out.